Hey everybody, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today it's going to be Isolated Warrior, an isometric shoot 'em up for the NES, one of the few of its kind. Really out there, period. Not just on the NES, but out there, period. It's actually a pretty cool game with a kind of a sharp difficulty curve at about the halfway point in the game. And while I've actually been familiar with this game for about a decade now as of doing this video, if not longer, I've never been able to beat the game until about 2 days ago. I decided to fire this up on Twitch, give it some practice, and I was able to get past my roadblock, which was the boss of Stage 4. And from what I understand, that's the roadblock for a lot of people that play this game. So what we're going to do is go through the whole game. I'll sort of talk about my strategies to get through each boss and each notable section. Not all sections are notable in this game. Some sections, like the one you see here, are pretty straightforward and pretty easy, but others probably need some explanation. What's really cool about this game actually is also if you get a 1 credit clear on the game, you go through your 6 main stages without continuing, you'll actually get a secret final stage, a stage 7, along with a unique final boss. So it's really neat that there's some extra content to do. The game also loops itself when you beat it. I'm not sure if the difficulty really rises significantly. I want to say bullets are a little bit faster, but it's something I haven't been able to verify. I'd have to put a first loop run and a second loop run side by side, one another. Maybe I'll do that after this Let's Play is done. But yeah, Isolated Warrior, we're going to go ahead and go through the whole game. This shouldn't take that long, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. It's not a terribly long game, but it is a fun game, so this should be a pretty fun playthrough. But as usual, before we kick things off and hit start here, I'd like to give a big shout out to my current Patreon backers. So all you nice folks backing my channel via Patreon, thank you so much for that. Also, big shout out to the recent live stream super chatters and channel members. So thank you guys for your direct patronage as well. And thanks everyone else that just continues to watch these videos. I hope you guys continue to enjoy these. So with that, let's go ahead and just hit the start button here. This game does have password save, so if you're playing this on your own via a real cartridge, you can write down the password after each level. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it. This game does have a couple of cutscenes and whatnot, similar to like Ninja Gaiden and things like that. They're not anywhere near as complex, so they're not really anything to write home about. What's cool about this game is that you can actually jump by pressing the A button. And also when you're in the air, if you press the A button again and you press in a certain direction, you can actually drop bombs in the playfield. Your bombs are denoted by the meter in the bottom right-hand portion of the screen. You also have 2 main weapon types. You have laser and you have what I'm guessing stands for wide. I haven't actually checked the manual or anything like that, so I don't know the actual weapon names. But you can actually alternate those by hitting select and these little guys right here, these are shields. Very, very important in this game. Try to pick up all the shields that you can. It helps out a ton, especially later on in the game, especially on the fast-moving stages. What I generally prefer to do is level up my laser first. The wide shot can be useful, but laser is a lot more important. It's way more powerful. It does significantly more damage. And you notice that these power-ups, they constantly cycle between L and W. So I just wait until L is selected, and then I pick it up. So again, you can actually just press select to switch between your shots. I'm on the wide shot right now, but since it's level 1, it's actually worse than my stock laser as far as its main shot's concerned. It'll eventually spread out and do a lot more damage, but I find that the laser also shoots a little more rapidly. And as far as shooting is concerned in this game, you can actually just hold down the button. When I first started playing this game, I would just mash, and mashing is actually totally unnecessary in this game. Just hold down the fire button. This is absolutely as fast as you can fire in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and build up my laser. So your weapons actually go up to level 12. So you can see in the middle bottom of the screen, we're at level 9 right now. And these little guys right here, those are health pickups. And then those solid, thick spheres, I believe they just give you points. I don't think they actually do anything. There are some more, like, egg-looking purple spheres that you can pick up. And again, this is a health pickup right there. Very important pickups, especially later on in the game as health gets a little more sparse. Right now in the first level, there are actually a lot of health pickups. So these guys right here, those are actually bomb increases. So you want to pick those up if you want to be able to use your bombs. these sort of snake tentacle things, I find that it's easiest to get rid of them by using your bombs. If you don't use your bombs, and they have a tendency of lingering out on the playfield for quite some time. Also, pits in this game are extremely bad. You will die instantly if you fall down a pit, so you need to watch out for those. The S icon here is actually a speed up. That's also very useful. And the B icons, B for Bravo, they are just bonus points, basically. So let's go ahead and get our last laser, and there we go. So we're actually maxed out on our laser power-up right now. Now notice that the laser, you know, it's not a wide shot. It's a very, you know, straightforward shot. But notice that there are also 3 laser beams, so it does significantly more damage. And what's great about it is that it also shoots behind you, which is very, very useful. It's probably one reason why it's better than the wide shot, because it also shoots behind you. Now, this boss is kind of a troll. When you defeat him, he'll actually spread apart and come right at you. And he can actually do damage. I think he's the only boss in the game that does something like that after you kill him. So whenever you kill the boss, watch for him just making a mad dash towards you as he splits apart, and just jump over it. Also, these bonus screens right here, they'll just automatically fade into your cutscene. It's mostly just text and an image. Sometimes the image animates just very slightly. And your character's name is apparently Maxed Maverick. You can't... You really can't make this stuff up, guys. It's just... wow. It's crazy. So... but goofy character names aside, the game's actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot when I first played it back in the day. But again, Stage 4 was my roadblock, and I just couldn't get past it back then. And in hindsight, I now know why I couldn't get past it. There's... I want to say it's a glitch, but as you're moving on Stage 4, if you're moving and you try to jump at the same time, a lot of times your movement will cancel your jump. So you'll press the jump button, but your character won't jump. And that's a real problem on Stage 4, because Stage 4 has a lot of pits. And remember, if you fall down a pit in this game, you die instantly. And the game is not very kind as far as getting your power-ups back. So if you die, whatever weapon you're selected goes back down to level 1. And if you select over to the other weapon, it retains its weapon level. But if you die again, then that one goes back to level 1, and then you're stuck at, say, a boss fight with level 1 weapons, which is very difficult to deal with, so especially later on in the game. The last boss in particular, man, does he take forever to kill with a level 1 weapon. It's possible, but it's difficult. So ideally you want to get to certain bosses with power-ups. These earlier bosses, it's not as important, especially if you've got bombs and things like that. Bomb ammunition, I should say. But later on in the game, dying can be severely punishing, so you've got to watch out for that. And thus, if you want to try to survive in this game, well, I'd say surviving isn't that difficult if you know the strategies. If you don't know the strategies, it can be a real pain. So it's definitely good to know the strategies in this game if you're going into this one. Once you know the strats, it's actually a really fun game. I like it a lot. And honestly, when you know what you're doing, I'd argue it's one of the better shooters on the system. Once you know what you're doing. When you don't know what you're doing, it can feel janky, it can feel clunky, but when you know how to control the game fully and take advantage of its quirks, or not really take advantage of its quirks, but get around its quirks, it's a ton of fun. It's also very striking in terms of its visual design. I mean, not many games on the NES were isometric like this, but there were some really excellent graphical effects later on in the playthrough, and if you guys have never seen this before and you like impressive looking NES games, you will certainly be impressed by the later parts of the game. So, alright, so 2 stages down out of hopefully 7. I don't guarantee all 7 stages here, but I think we're gonna get all 7 stages. I don't think we're gonna have any issues. Once I got past my roadblock, I ended up just ripping through this game like 2 or 3 times on Twitch, just back to back, and you actually get extra lives and things like that, and by the end of my second loop, I think I had like 14 lives. It was something crazy like that. I didn't even know you could get extra lives to that extent, but I was playing so well that I was basically just unstoppable. Even on the subsequent loops, which felt like they were a teensy tiny bit more difficult. I want to say bullets are a little bit faster, maybe a little more abundant. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that, so if any of you guys out there watching are familiar with this game, please let me know those details. I actually wasn't able to find a lot of information on this game as far as like loops and things like that are concerned prior to doing this video. But I did find out that the developer of this game, Kid, has actually done a lot of stuff over the years, and some of the stuff I've actually already covered on this channel. One of the games is apparently Low G-Man on the NES, which I did a Let's Play of several years ago. That was actually kind of a janky game in terms of like its movement and frame rate and things like that, but it's actually a really fun game that I do recommend trying out if you've never tried it before and you're looking for something new and definitely unique on the NES. Low G-Man is very, very unique for the kind of game it is. Side-scrolling action. So we've got our spread shot here. What's cool about the spread shot is when it's fully leveled up, you'll notice that shots go totally horizontally to the left and right of you, which is actually pretty handy on later parts of the game. Later parts of the game are going to have a lot of sort of platforming sections with endless pits in the middle of the screen. And I'm actually making some terrible mistakes here also, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm touching the floor that you're not supposed to touch, and it'll actually hurt you. So I've actually lost about half of my health. I think we'll still be fine, but it is something that really is a mistake I shouldn't be making right now. But yeah, that's one of the tricks about Isolated Warrior is because of the jump mechanic, this game actually has a lot of platforming elements to it. And it's something you've gotta get good with pretty early on in the playthrough. And here are some of the impressive graphical effects I was talking about. Kid apparently also made a bunch of other really impressive Famicom games as well. One of them is apparently Summer Carnival 92 Rekka, which I hope to eventually do some sort of Let's Play of, or at least cover in a, maybe like an NES shmup live stream or something like that. And Rekka is probably one of the most impressive Famicom games out there. Something also I wanted to mention is that you can also go to hidden rooms in this game, usually on the left-hand side of the screen, sometimes in other areas as well. You can drop your grenades on the playfield, and it'll actually reveal a hidden area. And some hidden areas will give you a health refill. Others, you'll actually rescue comrades that are hidden away. And they'll give you pretty much all of your weapon energy back, or your weapon levels back. So it's actually worth trying to bomb the sides of the screen. But not right now, because we're actually at a boss fight now. This is our third boss. This is actually a really impressive boss fight too. He takes up almost the whole screen, and it's really cool. Like I said, definitely a visually impressive game. But his brains are going to come back, and you need to jump over them like that. It's a little tricky, a little trollish, because, you know, when you first play this, you don't know that they're coming back from behind. And you can also unleash your bombs as well, which helps out. Fortunately, we've got a shield right now, so any hit we take is being absorbed, and it looks like we took a couple hits, which caused us to lose our shield. Alright, so we should be at stage 4 right now, and this is where things would go south for me when I was first playing this game. Max overcomes the illusion and must hurry. He has no time to rest. And thus he jumps on his bike, and then we're on basically a fast-moving shooter section. So you've got a couple of levels in this game that are like this, that are fast-paced. So you want to watch out for the cracks in the ground. Now, you know, I actually probably should have looked up the instruction manual, and if anyone out there knows how to do this, anyone else that's familiar with this game, in the demo, it was actually showing our character here shooting out at like a charged blast, and I really don't know how he did that. I don't know if maybe it's something like, I don't know, I really have no idea. I just haven't figured it out. So, if anyone out there actually knows how to do that, let me know. I actually should have found a instruction manual scan before doing this Let's Play, and I should have looked at that. But when I got home from work today, I was actually feeling really confident. I was like, man, you know, I should go ahead and record this, because I did like 3 runs of it on Twitch. So, you know, I don't even need to warm up. I should just be able to jump right in. And so far, so good. So this, you can start to see where stage 4 can get a little annoying. because these are endless pits on the sides, so you have to make sure you don't fall down. Now, it's the boss itself that gets really, really irritating. But I also have to remind myself to stop. Do not move when you jump, and I have to tell myself that because I will forget. If you move while you're jumping, a lot of times the game will eat your inputs. It won't register at all, so you just sit in place and jump. Do not move, just sit in place. And that is the trick, especially on this boss fight here. I don't know if it's just like a weird mechanic here, or if it's just, there's just so much going on the screen at once, it's eating your inputs, which that's a common thing from back in the day. That would actually happen in a bunch of games when stuff would get chaotic. Your inputs would basically just get sucked into an endless void. Even though you pressed the button and you did so well in advance, it just did not work. And on a game like this, where endless pits are probably the worst things in the game, it's one of the only things I can think of that can instant kill you in this game. It makes things exceptionally frustrating, especially since when you die, you lose all your power-ups. By the way, you want to sit on the left-hand side here for the whole boss fight, not just because it makes the boss easier or anything like that, but because you'll actually pick up a shield. And again, I'm just trying to stay in place. I'm just going to keep jumping. And we're just using my laser power-up, not even worrying about the wide shot. Don't even care. And I'm just going to tank some hits, too. All I really care about is just getting past this guy. There we go, we got it. Now, after you beat the boss, you can fall down into a pit, and it doesn't seem like you die. It actually happened to me once on my live stream. But we still survived and went on to the next stage. That's great. Probably one of the hardest parts in the game is out of the way now. And this level actually has a really interesting boss fight as well. It just kind of catches you off guard and just comes out of left field completely. And you guys will see what I mean once we get there. The enemy has built a huge station. Does this mean that they possess intelligence? I have no idea, and I don't really care that much. The story in this game is just all over the place, and honestly, they don't even get all that detailed with the happenings in it. But it is just, I don't know, it is a little over the top in some cases, and it also doesn't make a lot of sense in other cases. It probably makes a little more sense if you read the manual. These guys busting out of the left-hand side of the screen, sometimes they can drop extra lives, which is pretty cool. There we go, there's one. And it looks like you actually get extra lives from points in this game, because I'm up to 7 lives now, and I definitely have not picked up any 1-ups. The 1-up I got here was the first one I've gotten, period, in terms of an actual pickup. So, there's got to be a way to get extra lives from points, and that's probably why after I looped the game twice on Twitch that I ended up having like 14 lives or something like that. So, alright. I have to get a little more serious here, though, because I am getting a little sloppy. I'm just running into enemies left and right. And the reason for that is health pickups from here on out are a lot more uncommon. We've got these sort of ninja robot-looking dudes on the walls on the left-hand side, so you've got to watch out for those guys. And more tentacle snake-looking things here. Let's try to use our bombs over here to the right. And again, do use your bombs. Your bombs are very, very good in this game. They're very powerful, and as you pick up power-ups and things like that, as you pick up other pickups on the playfield, you will actually be able to throw more than one bomb at a time. So when you first start the game, basically what happens is you only toss out one bomb, and then as you get powered up, you can slowly toss out 2 or 3 and whatnot. And right now, I can toss out like 7 or 8 or something like that, and they basically spread out in all directions. I'm not going to worry about these power-ups, although there is actually a health pickup right there that I do want. And so what I'm going to do is just try to kill these guys as they come in, just like so. And one thing that's cool about pickups in this game is that you can jump over them as long as your shadow on the ground touches the pickup, you will actually get it. You'll actually collect it, and so you don't have to actually run into the pickup manually with your body. You can just let your shadow, as you jump, touch it, and it'll register. It's actually a really nice mechanic. I'm really glad that the game is pretty lenient in that regard in terms of power-up pickups. And I just missed a shield. That shield actually would have been really good to have. Especially as I believe we're getting close to the boss fight now. And my health is pretty low. Yeah, here's the boss. So what I want to do is jump over like this. Try to use my bombs. Watch out for these laser beams. And I want to try to hit this middle turret here. This boss actually doesn't have a ton of health, but he's going to be really dangerous if I die and have to restart without power-ups. There we go, we got it. First try, awesome. We took a couple hits, but we still have, you know, we still have some health left over, and that's what counts. So hopefully we can get that back on this level. We're going into that next level without much health, so we'll see what happens here. The leader of the aliens says, "What? Is his ship captured? Listen to me. Do not let it escape. Destroy it at once." And I really have no idea what he's talking about. If he's talking about me, I'm not in a ship. I'm in a ship, but it's not my ship. I have no idea what he was talking about. And there we go. So we got our first hidden room here. I think there was also another one earlier on in the playthrough. But these, I'm guessing they're prisoners of war or something like that. If you pick them up, or if you find them, they'll actually upgrade your weapons fully, which is great. So when you die at certain parts of this level, it'll actually checkpoint you right before that that hidden room, so you can actually get your weapons back, which is fantastic. And actually, also looks like I got a little bit of health back from beating that previous stage as well. Now, as far as pits are concerned, you do not want to touch those yellow bars. If you touch those yellow bars, you die instantly. They're treated as endless pits. And this part right here, these guys, I think 3 of these guys spawn in. They take a lot of hits. Yep, this is the 3rd one. And there we go. Alright, so for this part right here, I'm going to take the right-hand side. It doesn't really matter which side you take, but we're going to switch over to the spread shot just so we can do a little bit of damage to some enemies. Not a lot of damage, because you'll notice that the spread shot is considerably weaker. But again, one of the great things about the spread shot is that it goes, well, all the way across the screen in 5 different directions. So for sections like this, it's actually pretty useful. And there are some enemies that were teleporting all over the screen. You've got to watch out for them too, because they'll actually spawn right on top of you. And basically, one more hit here is going to kill me, so I have to be careful here. I think what I'm going to do is actually stick with the spread shot, because if I do die, then I'll at least still have a fully powered up laser, which will be handy. And you can see that the game is being really stingy with health pickups right now. Very, very stingy with health pickups. Gonna use our bombs, gonna jump straight over like this, and we might actually end up dying here. This is really close. Now, don't be afraid to jump in this game. Jumping is actually really, really handy. It's very, very good in this game. Let's go ahead and switch back over to this, because it's powerful. We can basically kill these guys before they do anything special. Still no health pickups. We're basically doing this, we're doing this with no health. We got 1 block of health, and that's it. And that pretty much is... Oh, no! Oh my god, that was a horrible place to die. Because we're actually really close to the boss fight. I lost my laser. My powered-up laser. And notice that my health bar is only halfway full. They don't give you all of your health back when you die in this game. So... I wasn't paying attention to that bullet. Either I hit a bullet or I touched the endless pit too early. I'm not sure exactly what happened. But what kind of stinks about dying like that is you also lose your speed. And the speed is... man, the speed is really important on boss fights in this game, especially this upcoming boss. So I guess we're just going to see what happens. This is if you don't beat the game without continuing, then this is your final boss. And he's actually a pretty tough boss. He's pretty stingy on where you can hit him too. So since this is our one and only chance with some kind of powered up gun, we're going to use the spread shot here. And you need to hit the little tiny white spot in the center of him. And generally it's pretty good to just jump a lot on this boss, but since we're somewhat powered up, we can actually destroy some of these objects that he's putting on the playfield. And we also have a couple of bombs too that we can use. But unfortunately, I think the laser part for the spread shot here is actually quite weak, so this is still going to take a little while to get through. The strategy is to just jump a lot and just watch where you land. Probably the biggest threat on this boss is actually these aliens, alien-looking things that he pops out. They have a tendency of sort of tracking you as they spawn out, just a little bit, so you have to watch out for them. The other little pods that shoot the lasers between them, they're a little more predictable. Now, something to consider that when you're jumping in this game, your shots actually do shoot at the height that you're at, and so the game does track height, which is actually pretty interesting. So if you jump over this guy, or if you jump high enough and you're shooting, chances are your bullets won't actually hit him because they're technically going over him. Now, it's not communicated very well. I mean, this is an NES game, so but it is something to keep in mind when you're playing. You do have to be aware that as you jump, you know, your shot height will sort of scale with you. That's probably not the right term, but I digress. Just trying to focus here because this guy, as you can see, he takes a lot of hits. A lot of hits. Now, if I had my laser shot, he would have been dead already. But since I don't have my laser... There we go, got it. Awesome. So that puts us at the 7th stage, and the 7th stage actually isn't that difficult. Funny enough, when you beat the game without continuing, it actually says, you know, beat the game without continuing to access a stage for experienced players, or another stage for experienced players. And honestly, it's not really that difficult. Compared to the other stages in the game. So, I don't think we're going to have any issues here, but I also normally have the laser power up when I get here, so since we don't really have the laser at the moment, or a powered up laser, I should say, and actually it looks like we are getting powered up already, pretty quickly actually, so that's actually pretty good. Now, we're not sped up though, we don't have any shields. Now this part's also kind of interesting because you have to go through this door in the middle, and it doesn't look like a door until you just sort of sit and stare for a little while. When I first got there, I had no idea what to do. I just sort of moved back and forth rapidly, had no idea what I was doing. So you can see there are definitely like more dense enemy patterns and more bullets and things like that. But if you're fully powered up by the time you get here, it's really not bad at all. But the problem is I'm not fully powered up right now like I normally would be. These sort of platforms in the middle, you need to jump over those. They will hurt you. So that's one of the I think poorly communicated things about this game is there are a lot of platforms in this that will hurt you, and they will hurt you very quickly. But you won't know until you walk over them. So it is a learning experience for sure. And actually, come to think of it, this might be the level I'm thinking of that has another hidden room. I guess we'll see. Now, you don't want to fall off the right-hand side there. I actually, at one point, thought that was a wall. Those, like, little spiky walls. They're not. You will actually fall off, and you will die. Oh, and I actually just missed it, too. So, this actually would have... I'm pretty sure there was a secret room right here, but I don't have any bombs. So I can't actually find it. I can't access it. And that would have been a really good room to get, because I'm pretty sure that room would have given me all of my health back. Assuming it's actually there. Let's find out. Okay, it actually looks like it's not. Okay. So maybe I was just freaking out over nothing. Or maybe there's another room or another area like this that has it. And those are just bonus points. Oh, there's a shield. That's good. Ah, cool. Two shields. Great. Alright, I think this is pretty much the final boss at this point. Now, unfortunately, because we don't have a powered-up laser shot, we're not going to be able to do much damage to him, so this could actually be a relatively questionable fight. Although, the spread shot's actually somewhat handy here, because it can hit him when he's on the other side of the screen, which is nice, so... With the laser shot, you have to actually be pretty accurate with it, whereas with the spread shot, you don't. Now, you have to watch out for these missiles that come down the screen. So you just want to wait and jump right before they touch you. Assuming you want to go over them. There are some gaps where you can go between them, but I find it's just easiest to just jump over them completely. And just jump. Kind of like stage 4, what I'm doing is whenever I'm jumping, I stop moving completely. I just stop my character and then jump. Just to make sure that my inputs don't get eaten. Because there's nothing like dying in a game. When you've done everything correct. You pressed all the buttons at the right time. And so you should see success, but... You know, when a game's eating your inputs aren't registering, and dying because of that is one of the most frustrating things in pretty much all of video gaming. One of the most frustrating things I can think of. More frustrating than slowdown, more frustrating than choppy frame rates affecting your inputs. Because, at least in those situations, your inputs will still be registered in a lot of cases. But in this game... your inputs will not be registered, and you will die. And this is going to be pretty close, actually. Not having much luck here. Oh, we got it. I was a little worried there, actually, because I was expecting that run to go a lot smoother than it did. I was expecting to get to that boss with full power-ups, and I was just going to mow through him with the laser. But, no laser, because I died with the laser multiple times, and it got reset to level 0 many times. But yeah, this is the ending to Isolated Warrior, and actually I'm guessing this is going to be the best ending. So, normally when you beat the game, it'll say, you know, try the game again without continuing or something like that to get the best ending and an extra stage or something like that. And I don't think it says best ending, but it does say to unlock another stage for higher skilled players or something like that. I don't know the exact text, but if you do it successfully like we did, you will get this sort of extended sequence with actual credits. You actually don't get any credits if you don't do this without continuing. Now, I don't know if like rescuing your comrades via the hidden rooms has an effect on the ending, because I could have sworn that we got a 1 credit clear but didn't get credits. But then I looped the game, and on the second playthrough I did find some comrades. And then it actually showed some credits here on this screen. So maybe credits is actually an extra reward for doing a second loop. Which might actually be the case. Because it doesn't look like we got any credits there. So, getting credits might actually be a result of loop number 2. Which I did do on Twitch. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to go highlight that so I can post a 2-loop upload over on my Twitch YouTube channel. Yeah, so the ending here is also altered a little bit if you loop it twice. Or at least for me, it was different. It would say the end much earlier, but it would also show some credits before it came to this screen, which is interesting, so... but yeah, that's Isolated Warriors, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. I do highly recommend this game if you're a fan of shmups on the NES. It's a really solid game, a lot of fun to play, and it can be frustrating at points if you don't know what you're doing, but once you get over those hurdles, I think it is a great game. I definitely recommend trying it out if you're looking for a good shooter on the system. Now, I think these days it's gotten kind of expensive in price because I don't think it sold all that well back in the day, and it remained relatively under the radar for many, many years, up until probably more just recently. But if you've got flashcards, you want to do emulation, or if you just happen to find a copy in the wild cheap, or maybe you've already got one because it used to be really cheap. You know, this used to be like a $3 or $4 game, and you know, give it a shot. And if you've played it before and you're familiar with it, hopefully, I should say, if you've played it before and you're familiar with it, and maybe you haven't been able to beat it because you got stuck at certain parts, hopefully this playthrough could help you out with that too. So either way, best of luck with it. Again, I do recommend playing it, and if you do play it, let me know what you think of it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. As usual, if you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. I've got hundreds of Let's Plays on this channel and many, many more to come. Feel free to check my Let's Plays playlist if you want to just see everything I've got. You can also check my main channel page for other playlists. I have playlists dividing up the various systems and whatnot I've done Let's Plays for. So yeah, definitely check that out and subscribe if you're into this sort of thing. Also, thanks to everyone else already supporting my channel. I hope you guys continue to enjoy getting these videos. And I guess until the next one, guys, take it easy.